Chapter 2276, Star Constellation, Come Join My Alliance. In the sky above Central Continent, the boundless star array calculation formation could be seen in its initial form. A large number of Central Continent Gu immortals were moving around rapidly. Heaven and Earth Great Love Alliance. Xiao Xuanzi set up the formation while muttering to himself, thinking hard about the situation. Sister Bai Qing, do you think we can join the Heaven and Earth Great Love Alliance? Not far away, Rainbow Butterfly Immortal Concubine Han Kai Xian transmitted and asked. Fairy Bai Qing wore a white gown with a green belt around the waist. She smiled plainly upon hearing this. Kai Xian, are you interested? How can I not be? A total of 20% discount with no restrictions on entering or leaving the alliance. This is such a huge bargain. If I am not from Spirit Butterfly Valley, I will have joined already. To sister, aren't you moved? Han Kai Xian asked. Han Kai Xian had colorful butterflies flying around her as she placed many Gu worms at their designated locations. Fairy Bai Qing pondered to herself. Although she was a Gu immortal of Spirit Affinity House, she had a close relationship with Han Kai Xian. They called each other sisters in private, as she knew the intention behind Han Kai Xian's question. It was because Fairy Bai Qing's daughter was Feng Jin Huang. She was close to Heavenly Court as a result. But Fairy Bai Qing shook her head. I can't be certain about this. Maybe we can ask friend He Feng Yang. In the past, Fairy Bai Qing might state her own opinion, but after Fairy Ziwei and Feng Jiugu's betrayal, Fairy Bai Qing started to act with caution. Little 9. Get to work. That after arranging this star path, Immortal Gu, we will retreat immediately. Far away, He Feng Yang secretly transmitted to the 9 Palace Crane. He had had enough. After Fang Yuan's second declaration, everyone knew of the great advantage of joining the Heaven and Earth Great Love Alliance. Most importantly, they could leave at will, and there were no restrictions at all. He Feng Yang became the target of everyone's inquiry as they assessed him closely. He Feng Yang was instructed by Star Constellation Immortal Venerable to openly hold an Immortal Gu transaction with Fang Yuan. Forget about what the Heavenly Court members thought of it. Currently, the Central Continent's 10 great ancient sects Gu immortals were all moved, who did not lack Immortal Gu, especially after the 5 regions became one and the regional walls vanished. Qi tides swept the world while heaven veins and earth veins merged. All sorts of immortal materials appeared like a pouring foundation. Among them, Earth Path, Qi Tide, and Heaven Path were most abundant. The Gu immortals had a lot of immortal materials. The transactions in Treasure Yellow Heaven also increased in frequency, but Gu immortals still had few immortal Gu. Everyone was specialized in one field. If one was not a refinement path Gu immortal, their success rate of refining immortal Gu was just too low. From ancient times until now, after 3 million years of human domination, the pain of Gu refinement had never been lifted. Countless heroes and geniuses had sank into this bottomless pit of agony throughout their lives. Only several refinement path great experts could achieve great success, but their radiance could not reach everyone. Most Gu immortals were disheartened by their Gu refinement attempts, but they still had to continue trying regardless. It was a painful but helpless process. Now, there was a refinement path venerable. He was not like any other Gu immortal as well. He was very special. He created the Heaven and Earth Great Love Alliance and publicly held transactions in Treasure Yellow Heaven to refine immortal Gu for others. This made all the Gu immortals who were drowning in despair feel hopeful. This was a type of warmth that entered their hearts. Most Gu immortals were moved. No matter how hypocritical Fang Yuan's great love declaration was, the benefits were still presented before everyone, but the status of the Central Continent's 10 great ancient sects became their restriction. These Gu immortals were mindful of Heavenly Court's attitude. Thus, they all looked towards He Feng Yang as an indicator. He was the first person in Central Continent's righteous path to make a transaction with Fang Yuan openly. Rumors said that this was due to the orders of Star Constellation Immortal Venerable. He Feng Yang had received Star Constellation Immortal Venerable's orders, but how could he tell them? Some things were allowed under the table, but they could not be spoken about. Once these things were exposed, the meaning would change. Thus, He Feng Yang had to keep a tight lip. But the more vague he spoke, the more others wanted to know. For example, Vicious Lightning Fiend came to ask him personally. Vicious Lightning Fiend had rank 7 cultivation level and was a famous expert. Compared to him, Feng Yuan was just a tiny character. But now, because of his transaction with Fang Yuan, Feng Yuan became renowned in Central Continent. Everyone paid attention to him. Towards Vicious Lightning Fiend, Feng Yuan had to lower his head. That although he spoke vaguely and hinted about the situation, Vicious Lightning Fiend wanted a definitive answer. Feng Yuan faced immense pressure. But right at this time, another Gu immortal approached him. It was Immortal Monkey King Shirley. This expert had been rank 7 for a long time. It was rumored that he was trying to reach rank 8 now. When Feng Jiuge was still part of Central Continent's righteous path, Immortal Monkey King Shirley was merely below him. Brother, Feng Yuan, tell me straightforwardly, can we or can we not do it? Shirley asked openly. With this question, Feng Yuan's pressure became even heavier. Fairy Bai Qing and Rainbow Butterfly Immortal Concubine also asked him, Fairies, I don't know either. Feng Yuan was having a terrible headache. Brother Feng Yuan, try asking them. Vicious Lightning Fiend said. Feng Yuan was near the point of tears. Brother, please understand, I am just a helpless subordinate. Vicious Lightning Fiend chuckled. You've known Feng Yuan for a long time. Your relationship is not normal. How can I not know that? Feng Yuan felt extremely grieved. He almost wanted to scream. I am really not close to this demon. Feng Yuan was still trying to find excuses to reply to Vicious Lightning Fiend without offending him when suddenly, Shirley directly suggested, I have a good idea. Brother, join the Heaven and Earth Great Love Alliance now. I'm sure Star Constellation Immortal Venerable will not punish you. Feng Yuan's eyes rolled white as he felt like he would rather pass out. While Feng Yuan was in a tight spot, Liang Jingjing was also facing a tough predicament. Her divine sense had already entered Treasure Yellow Heaven to communicate with Feng Yuan's. After knowing that Light Heaven was converted into a large sum of contribution points in the Heaven and Earth Great Love Alliance, she felt conflicted. She felt terrible. This was a huge sum of contribution points. It would hurt her too much to give up on them. Liang Jingjing still had 2 Gu immortals with her, because Flickering Light Grotto Heaven was destroyed. In this situation, she needed cultivation resources badly. But Heavenly Court would not help her. For no reason, she had to make good use of every cultivation resource, starting all over again. Thus, the contribution points from giving up Light Heaven became her greatest temptation. Liang Jingjing was not afraid that Feng Yuan would go back on his words. After all, he had made a public declaration. If Liang Jingjing decided to join the Heaven and Earth Great Love Alliance again, Feng Yuan would definitely assure her safety in order to show the world that he was serious. Liang Jingjing was afraid of Heavenly Court and the other Gu immortals in the world, but she had just betrayed Feng Yuan to join Heavenly Court. If she joined the Heaven and Earth Great Love Alliance again at this time, how would Heavenly Court feel? How would the entire world feel about it? At this moment, Liang Jingjing could not deny that she was feeling regretful. Of course, her hatred and anger towards Feng Yuan was still dominant and had not wavered. Inside the sovereign immortal aperture, Feng Yuan started to officially refine Heavenly Secret Gu. This was his 3rd rank 9 immortal Gu. Feng Yuan was very confident in this Gu refinement attempt compared to the previous 2, because for this Gu refinement session, he had made the most extensive preparation possible. While refining Gu, Feng Yuan considered the big picture now that he reduced the criteria for joining the alliance. A huge commotion was caused. The influence would only become deeper later on. Lord Great Love, Immortal Venerable, I am Shang Tao Fan. May I join the Heaven and Earth Great Love Alliance? A Southern Border Gu immortal contacted Feng Yuan's will in Treasure Yellow Heaven. Actually, by now, many Gu immortals had already contacted Feng Yuan's will, but this was the first person that stated his intention to join. You can join after paying a membership fee. Feng Yuan's will replied plainly, a single person's membership fee and a super force membership fee was different. A Shang Tao Fan asked, can I join secretly? Feng Yuan's will nodded in agreement. Then I will join the alliance. Shang Tao Fan replied immediately. He made arrangements with Feng Yuan's will on where and when to transact the resource point. Indeed, the membership fees for joining the Heaven and Earth Great Love Alliance were resource points. Shang Tao Fan is a peripheral member of Shang clan, but this time, he was sent by Shang clan as a representative to join my Heaven and Earth Great Love Alliance. Fang Yuan instantly understood that this was Shang clan's move. The resource point that he requested for was beyond Shang Tao Fan's personal capabilities, but during the talk, he agreed upon it immediately. It was evident that Shang clan was backing him in this. Although Shang clan does not have Wu clan's resolve, they are capable of seeing the big picture regardless. Fang Yuan smiled. This was just the start. That soon, with Fang clan's agitation and Wu clan's lead, more and more super forces would try their luck. These super forces would likely behave like Shang clan by first sending one member over to make use of the benefits of being a member of the Heaven and Earth Great Love Alliance. But this was all within Fang Yuan's planned up by giving them some benefits first. When these super forces are no longer to live without him, Fang Yuan would start to restrict the number of immortal goo each person could request to refine. Afterwards, these super forces would send even more goo immortals to join him. They might even come to him as a whole. Of course, Fang Yuan would not restrict them. If they wanted to leave the alliance, they could do so at any time. While refining the immortal goo, Fang Yuan used information path methods to contact Star Constellation Immortal Venerable. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable, have you been well? Fang Yuan greeted with a warm attitude. The Star Constellation Immortal Venerable quickly replied, I've been well, but some accusations came towards me from nowhere. Friend Great Love, do you have anything to tell me regarding this? Fang Yuan laughed heartily. To speak the truth, Lady Star Constellation Immortal Venerable, I am here to lend you a hand. That I've heard that you are undergoing a huge project recently to create a super immortal formation that covers the entire area of Central Continent. To make such a huge formation, you will need many immortal goo. And I, Great Love Immortal Venerable, happen to be specialized in this aspect. Why don't you join my Heaven and Earth Great Love Alliance? You will enjoy a 20% discount that will save you a huge sum. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable laughed. She was laughing from anger. Chapter 2277, Spectral Soul Destroys the Sun. Regarding Fang Yuan's shamelessness, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable could not do anything but amazement. She had no choice but to admit that Fang Yuan's second declaration was a brilliant move that dealt with the situation effectively. Fang Yuan lowered the entry and exit criteria for the Heaven and Earth Great Love Alliance. He did not consider the loyalty of these members, creating a whole new commotion. Using benefits to lure them, he displayed the advantage of refinement path. This was something that Star Constellation Immortal Venerable and Giant Sun Immortal Venerable could not match. They had no way of stopping him. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable was certain. Right now, all the goo immortals in the world were greatly moved. Even the goo immortals of the Central Continent's 10 great ancient sects were thinking of whether they could join the Heaven and Earth Great Love Alliance now. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable could restrain them and not let them join the alliance. But she could not stop them from thinking. Human minds were fickle, and in this entire fiasco, what did Fang Yuan lose? Basically nothing. Originally, he had taken in subordinates from Eastern Sea and the two heavens. They had no loyalty towards him. They had to join him because of the situation. It was not of their own will. It was unrealistic for Fang Yuan to depend on them if he wanted to attack Central Continent or the other regions. From Qin Dingling's success in making these people betray him, it showed that none of them had any loyalty to him. If there was only one venerable in the current world, everyone would be completely at his beck and called. But with the era of 4 concurrent venerables, as well as the contest of 3 venerables, these goo immortals were able to make a choice. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable snorted coldly. She knew that Fang Yuan contacted her not to show off or brag about his move. Fang Yuan's suggestion for Star Constellation Immortal Venerable to join the Heaven and Earth Great Love Alliance was a joke. He knew that Star Constellation Immortal Venerable would not join the alliance and raise his prestige, but Fang Yuan's true goal was to threaten her. Currently, Central Continent was assembling a formation of an unprecedented scale at this crucial moment. If Great Love Immortal Venerable or Giant Sun Immortal Venerable made their move, it could easily cause the formation to crumble and fail. Fang Yuan has little immortal essence, He does not want to come and destroy my star array calculation formation, but he does not want me to succeed either. Thus, he contacted me. Fang Yuan had always been showing an anxious attitude as he used various immortal goo to exchange for resource points. It seemed like he was trying to raise the foundation of his immortal aperture to increase his immortal essence production. A star constellation Immortal Venerable made many investigation attempts, but similar to Giant Sun Immortal Venerable, they could not see the truth that Fang Yuan was concealing. Thus, all along, she felt that Fang Yuan lacked immortal essence. This was a deep impression that he imprinted in her. As she was not surprised that Fang Yuan contacted her immediately, she agreed to have a transaction with Fang Yuan. Heavenly Court would pay resource points, primordial domain, and immortal materials in exchange for Fang Yuan's refinement of immortal goo for them. But the transaction was of a huge scale. Star constellation Immortal Venerable even emphasized that the transactions would be done in batches. This entire duration would be quite lengthy. Fang Yuan knew that star constellation Immortal Venerable was doing this to ensure her formation's safety. This was something Fang Yuan had expected. According to the arrangement of this incomplete formation, star constellation Immortal Venerable was not making an exceptional formation. It was within Fang Yuan's tolerance level. Fang Yuan gave up on destroying it to obtain a beneficial transaction. This was an assured gain for him, but especially when he was refining heavenly secret goo now. At this juncture, Fang Yuan could not attack abruptly, but star constellation Immortal Venerable did not know this. It was even quite a surprise that she was willing to use primordial domain as one of the transaction goods. Before this, Fang Yuan had always been negotiating with Heavenly Court to buy their primordial domain, that the primordial domain had much greater value to him than star constellation Immortal Venerable or Giant Sun Immortal Venerable. The star constellation Immortal Venerable had never agreed to it, but now she was willing to give up some of the primordial domain to lure Fang Yuan into accepting the transaction. It is likely that in star constellation Immortal Venerable's perspective, I have not taken the primordial domain in Treasure Yellow Heaven because I lack methods to retrieve it. Thus, giving me a portion of the primordial domain now will not allow me to gain any advantage in a short period of time. To think that star constellation Immortal Venerable will be the first person to sell me primordial domain, I thought that I would have gotten it first through a blood path transaction with Giant Sun Immortal Venerable. While thinking of this, Fang Yuan multitasked and contacted Giant Sun Immortal Venerable. Friend Giant Sun, star constellation Immortal Venerable has made such a huge move. The formation she is setting up must be quite important. She is the #1 wisdom path cultivator throughout history. With this formation's help, she will be able to scheme in the future without us even knowing it. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable laughed and quickly replied, "So what do you want to do?" Fang Yuan said directly, "I am willing to join hands with you to deal with star constellation Immortal Venerable and destroy her formation. Wisdom Path is not simple. We saw its power in Crazed Demon Cave, that we really should not let her create this immortal formation." Giant Sun Immortal Venerable gave an ambiguous answer. "That is a good suggestion. So, great love, have you considered Heavenly Lord by Zhu's suggestion already?" Fang Yuan chuckled. "We can always talk about it. I have a lot of blood path research results, and also blood path immortal goo." Giant Sun Immortal Venerable had always wanted to buy Fang Yuan's blood path resources. Now that Fang Yuan gave in, Giant Sun Immortal Venerable smiled and immediately contacted star constellation Immortal Venerable. "Heaven Refining Demon Venerable just contacted me. He wants us to attack your formation together. What do you think about that?" Giant Sun Immortal Venerable immediately exposed Fang Yuan. Star constellation Immortal Venerable snorted coldly to herself. She used a similar method to make a transaction with Giant Sun Immortal Venerable. The three venerables continued to negotiate and plot against each other. As a wisdom path goo cultivator, star constellation Immortal Venerable was superior than the others. She vaguely held the upper hand. Eventually, she gave up some benefits to temporarily appease Fang Yuan and Giant Sun. "I finally stabilized these two, but if the formation I am making is any stronger, this situation will be harder to deal with." It was not that star constellation Immortal Venerable lacked a better formation, but she could not create it now. If she tried to, The two venerables would try to destroy it. There would be no way of talking them out of it. The star array calculation formation was specially chosen by star constellation Immortal Venerable, as it did not cross their bottom line at the two. Venerables were willing to let her create it in exchange for some personal benefits. This was the precise control of the situation that star constellation Immortal Venerable had in this contest of three venerables. Of course, the most important thing is still spectral soul demon venerable. Star constellation Immortal Venerable thought to herself, the reason why both venerables are willing to watch on the fence is because of spectral soul demon venerable primarily. Compared to spectral soul demon venerable, star constellation Immortal Venerable's formation was nothing outstanding. The three venerables were paying close attention to spectral soul demon venerable's actions, as what they expected. After getting rid of the white heaven grotto heavens that spectral soul demon venerable could sense, he went after the sun. Within the fused two heavens, spectral soul demon venerable charged towards the sun like a mountain-like shadowy figure. This scene was seen through Fang Yuan's investigative method. He pondered. Back then, I used up white heaven's heavenly spirit, causing spectral soul demon venerable to be unable to control immemorial white heaven directly. He has only devoured black heaven's heavenly spirit, so he can only devour immemorial white heaven through the entire immemorial black heaven. Right now, among the two heavens grotto heavens, those from white heaven are basically all destroyed. The heaven vein nodes that are contained within these grotto heavens have all been destroyed by spectral soul demon venerable. As for longevity heaven and heavenly court, they have tight defenses that prevents spectral soul demon venerable from detecting them in his current state. Thus, his only target now is the sun. Spectral soul demon venerable charged towards the sun, but this attempt was different from before. He shouted and roared with unprecedented determination and killing intent that, however, the closer he got to the sun, the more obstruction he felt from the massive number of fire path and light path down marks. A spectral soul demon venerable's body started to melt like a candle. Tiny flames could be seen appearing on his entire body. Giant sun Immortal Venerable looked at the immemorial two heavens. While paying close attention to this situation, he evaluated internally. The sun has existed since immemorial times. It has vast and boundless power. It is the largest heaven vein node in the entire world. It is also the greatest light vein and fire vein node in the two heavens. Even in my previous life, when I was at my strongest, I could not deal with the sun easily. Now that spectral soul demon venerable has lost his mind, it will be even harder for him to deal with it. When giant sun Immortal Venerable was alive back then, he was invincible in the world. He could naturally destroy the sun, but doing that had no advantage to him. It was even very harmful to the myriad life forms. Thus, giant sun Immortal Venerable did not do that. Eventually, spectral soul demon venerable charged into the sun as countless black pillar-like arms stretched out and grabbed at it. His colossal body slammed into the sun and caused flames to flicker at the same time. He suffered severe injuries. His body melted rapidly as a vast number of light path and fire path down marks were carved on him. All of his accumulated soul path down marks were rapidly breaking apart. Spectral soul demon venerable's three heads were screaming out in pain. His eyes became filled with anger and hatred. Following his instincts, he activated a defensive killer move as a layer of eerie light covered his whole body. Black smoke gushed out fiercely and resisted the immense power of the sun. Spectral soul demon venerable managed to control the situation for now. Star constellation Immortal Venerable stayed in embroidered tower as she looked out of the window. The sun is a congregation of heaven path, light path, and fire path down marks. It is tangible, but not solid. It can be seen as a tribulation that has been ongoing for countless years. It had started accumulating since the start of the world. Thus, even though it is not a chaotic disaster, it is hard to deal with even for a venerable. By attacking the sun, spectral soul demon venerable will likely end up badly alongside it. By then, it will be time to make my move. If I can eliminate spectral soul demon venerable, it will benefit heavenly court greatly. By then, I can even give in to the other two venerables to a greater extent. Star constellation Immortal Venerable understood when to yield and when not to. For heavenly court, spectral soul demon venerable was a huge threat. Because heavenly court was situated in immemorial white heaven. It was the largest heaven vein node in the world. It was just that heavenly court was concealed by star constellation immortal venerable's wisdom path method. Spectral soul demon venerable could not detect it. But right at this moment, there was an abrupt change. A mountain-like beast escaped in fear, while carrying a trace of the aura of a rank 9 immortal goo. There is actually a legendary immemorial desolate beast hiding inside the sun. It has a rank 9 immortal goo. Star constellation immortal venerable was shook. Giant sun immortal venerable's eyes widened. No, not just one rank 9 immortal goo. It has another one. The three venerables observed closely as the wild rank 9 fire goo within the sun was no longer concealed. After a few breaths of time, spectral soul demon venerable arrived at the center of the sun. The remaining tens of arms stretched out and grabbed fire goo despite the intense flames. Spectral soul demon venerable's left head opened its mouth and instantly devoured fire goo. Spectral soul demon venerable cried out in agony. His left head was burning like a flame pillar. Without the support of the two goo, the sun exploded with a loud sound that spread throughout the entire world. At this moment, all life forms in the world looked up. They had fearful expressions as they witnessed the sun turning into countless lumps of light and fire, breaking up and spreading throughout heaven and earth. The sun was destroyed. Chapter 2278. Pursuing the rank 9 immortal goo. This change had occurred too quickly. Even the three venerables could not take action in time. Their original plan was to wait for spectral soul demon venerable to go down with the sun, until they were both greatly weakened. Because spectral soul demon venerable was following his instincts now, he would also want to survive naturally. Thus, if he got badly injured, he would escape. At this time, the three venerables would target the greatly weakened spectral soul demon venerable. In the contest of three venerables, spectral soul demon venerable was a huge uncertainty. There was still a chance of him regaining his sanity. Thus, the three venerables were in agreement that this uncertainty should be killed first. Like during the battle in Crazed Demon Cave, star constellation immortal venerable and giant sun immortal venerable decided to cooperate to kill all the pseudo-venerables first. But out of their expectations, the sun actually exploded first, different from what everyone thought. The sun actually contained 2 rank 9 immortal goo and 1 mysterious legendary immemorial desolate beast. That the sun's foundation far exceeded their expectations. That with this foundation and the fact that spectral soul demon venerable was not sane, it should be very hard to deal with. He would be the one to escape first. But the issue was that the legendary immemorial desolate beast that hid inside the sun got shocked and escaped. That not only did it run away, it even brought a rank 9 immortal goo with it. That once this immortal goo was taken, the sun lacked a core, and its stable condition quickly destabilized spontaneous. No matter how strong a goo house is, it can still be easily broken from the inside. Star constellation immortal venerable sighed as she thought of a logic in the goo world. This abrupt change disrupted her plan. Among the three venerables, star constellation immortal venerable was the one who wanted to kill spectral soul demon venerable the most, because she understood the threat that he held towards heavenly court. Originally, she wanted to give in and accept some losses to lure the other two venerables into attacking spectral soul demon venerable and killing him. But to think that this happened to fire goo was a legendary immortal goo recorded in the Legends of Rinzu. It was rank 9, but got devoured by spectral soul demon venerable. Forget about that for now. But the mysterious legendary immemorial desolate beast also brought away a rank 9 immortal goo. That it had to be pursued. That a rank 9 immortal goo was concerned, while a legendary immemorial beast was not hard to deal with for a venerable. Because it was too easy to succeed, star constellation immortal venerable had to race against time now. There were 3 venerables in the world. She did not want the immortal goo to end up with the other venerables. Be careful. Fire is raining down like a storm. Fairy Bai Ching was the first to alert the others. Oh no, what do we do? Rainbow Butterfly Immortal Concubine looked at the sky and saw countless flames descending. She felt lost and helpless. These flames were too high ranked. bright light, glorious ring fire made up most of these flames. This was the heaven flame of the 3 flames in the world. It was a rank 9 fire path, immortal material. One had to be a rank 8 fire path. Great expert at least to deal with it. But in the sky above Central Continent, there was a colossal immortal formation that Central Continent's Gu immortals wanted to defend the formation, so they had to deal with these flames. Lady Star Constellation, immortal venerable, please give us the orders. Shirley shouted loudly. Star Constellation sighed softly as she left behind her will and some rank 9 immortal essence, controlling embroidered tower to deal with the situation here. But her main body had left already, heading for the 2 heavens. Eastern Sea. Fang Yuan was currently using investigative methods to observe the 5 regions. With the collapse of the sun, countless immortal materials are scattered everywhere. Among them, the light path resources are mostly flying around in the 2 heavens, while the fire path resources are scattered onto the 5 regions. Fire rain is most common in Western Desert, while least common in Eastern Sea. The reason was simple. Conflict of Dao marks in the 5 regions. Eastern Sea had the most water path Dao marks, while Western Desert had the most fire path Dao marks. Thus, the fire rain preferred to target Western Desert instead. These flames are top-tier resources. If they are gathered to a certain size, they can be made into fire path resource points. Especially the bright light, glorious ring fire. This rank 9 immortal material is extremely rare and barely found anywhere. It is a prime opportunity to gain a huge amount of it now. I need to make use of this. Fang Yuan immediately ordered his Gu immortals to head to various locations to collect the fire path resources, but regrettably, he had the most water path Gu immortals and only a few fire path Gu immortals, not to mention rank 8 fire path cultivators. Regarding this, Fang Yuan used his will in Treasure Yellow Heaven to make an announcement. Good news. Good news. The Heaven and Earth Great Love Alliance is holding an event. Anyone who collects enough fire path immortal materials can exchange them with us for alliance contribution points. If you collect enough alliance contribution points, you will be able to join the Heaven and Earth Great Love Alliance officially. It will not cost you resource points. After joining the alliance, you will also retain the contribution points from exchanging immortal materials. Fang Yuan's will tossed out a list that wrote the details of each exchange clearly. Bright light, glorious ring fire was listed at the top. It could exchange for the most contribution points. The Gu immortals of the world heard the announcement and instantly became moved. Originally, joining the Heaven and Earth Great Love Alliance required resource points, but now, all they had to do was to collect fire path immortal materials. For the bulk of the Gu immortals, the entry requirement fell once again. Fang Yuan's will added. This event will only last for a short while. The fastest ones will gain the most. Once I collect enough fire path immortal materials, this event will end immediately. Fire path immortal material? What a pity. Other than the bright light, glorious ring fire, if I go to collect the other fire path immortal materials, the gains will be lower than just collecting heaven path immortal materials. In the 2 heavens, Shun Shang was busy scavenging for resources. Are we not pursuing Fang clan anymore? For what? Let heavenly courts Zhou Xiong Xian do it. Let's quickly collect these fire path immortal materials. We can use some ourselves while selling the rest to Great Love Immortal Venerable. This opportunity will not knock twice. More and more Gu immortals in Western Desert started to move out. Southern border. Wu Yong led Wu clan's Gu immortals as they started to move around with lightning speed. Benefits tempted everyone. A large number of Gu immortals in the 5 regions were mobilized by Fang Yuan as a result. As for Fang Yuan, he personally headed into the 2 heavens. The destruction of the sun also affected his plan. Originally, he wanted to wait for Spectral Soul Demon Venerable and the sun to both get weakened. If his refinement of Heavenly Secret Gu succeeded in time, he would be able to gain some benefits from Spectral Soul Demon Venerable. But now, he had to refine Heavenly Secret Gu while keeping up with the facade. Thus, he had to enter the 2 heavens and pretend that he was trying to go after the rank 9 immortal Gu. This was the normal reaction and behavior that he should have. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable and Star Constellation Immortal Venerable were brilliant people. Fang Yuan had to do this to avoid exposing himself after the sun was destroyed. The 5 regions became dimmed. Mortal goo masters were fearful and shocked while other life forms also panicked. The crying and growling of beasts and birds could be heard everywhere. This was an unprecedented change. A large-scale panic was unavoidable. Starlight flickered randomly as a legendary, immemorial, desolate beast charged out while bathed in blood. The star constellation Immortal Venerable was the first to arrive. She waved her hand as the blood and scales that were left in the air gathered in her hands. The star constellation Immortal Venerable quickly made deductions with her wisdom path Immortal Killer move. This is Yu Tianguang. She quickly deduced the identity of this legendary immemorial beast. She felt a little shocked. Yu Tianguang and Zui Yihui had once terrorized the 5 regions. They whipped up a bloody storm. They were extremely crafty. They worked together, and whenever a demon venerable or immortal venerable was alive, they would hide and not show up. But eventually, Paradise Earth. Immortal Venerable brought peace to the world and killed Yu Tianguang. This was recorded in history, but Yu Tianguang is actually alive. Did it fake its death? Could it fake its death in front of Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable? Or does that mean this is part of Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable's arrangement? At this moment, star constellation Immortal Venerable thought of many things. The situation had gotten quite mysterious and complex. The star constellation Immortal Venerable pursued the beast while analyzing to herself. The more she thought about it, the more she felt that this was Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable's move. According to the situation in Crazed Demon Cave. Originally, once Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable revived, he would become a Heaven Path Venerable that would allow him to gain an immense advantage in the 2 heavens, especially after he refines all the Heaven Path down marks in the 2 heavens. He would be able to control all the Heaven Vein nodes. By then, Heavenly Court and Longevity Heaven would be greatly threatened by him. The Sun was also a Heaven Vein node. Back then, Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable intentionally placed Yu Tianguang inside the Sun as an arrangement for him to capture the Sun in the future. Thankfully, Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable is dead now. From this aspect, I should thank Fang Yuan instead. The moment star constellation Immortal Venerable thought of Fang Yuan, he appeared before her. Friend star constellation, we meet again. Fang Yuan smiled as he greeted the star constellation Immortal Venerable snorted coldly internally, but she showed a kind smile on her face. Her demeanor was extremely elegant. The two had a warm attitude, but their movements did not slow down. Instead, they moved even faster. The 2 venerables were guarded against each other as they attacked Yu Tianguang. This Yu Tianguang had human form. Its back was bent and its forearms were long. There was a horn on its head, and its body was covered in scales that resembled countless mirrors that reflected light in all directions. Under the pursuit of both venerables, Yu Tianguang actually managed to escape time and again, as I expected, Yu Tianguang brought away rank 9 light goo. It has not been refined yet. This is still a wild immortal goo. Fang Yuan noticed the peculiarity. He sighed internally inside Sovereign Immortal Aperture. The refinement of Heavenly Secret Immortal goo had reached a crucial moment. He did not want to go after this rank 9 light goo. If he obtained it, the 2 venerables would attack him in a frenzy to try and snatch it. After all, a rank 9 immortal goo was able to break the balance between the 3 venerables. Nobody wanted this immortal goo to end up in another's hands, but Fang Yuan had to say what he had to say. Yu Tianguang, I am best friends with your master Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable. After he died, he gave his inheritance to me, but did not have time to tell me about you. Quickly leave with me. I will ensure your safety. Yu Tianguang coughed out blood while shouting, that old bastard Paradise Earth. I was almost beaten to death by him. It took all my effort to hide in the sun to recuperate that I only managed to recover a little after sleeping for so many years. That he did this to me. I will definitely not submit to you. That means this is not Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable's arrangement. Star constellation Immortal Venerable was slightly stunned. She could sense Yu Tianguang's emotions. It was not lying. Yu Tianguang was able to escape by faking death in front of Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable. It is quite amazing. Light Emperor, who was hiding nearby, thought to himself. He was hiding inside a black cloud. At this moment, he did not want to dazzle anyone. Chapter 2279. Retaliation of 3 Venerables Luck. Immortal Killer Move. Sword Tongue Dragon Soul. Fang Yuan's body shook slightly as 100 evil dragons appeared around him instantly. If the evil dragons danced and paraded, they gathered into a group and encircled Yu Tianguang. He had used this compound killer move before. If he used it against Star Constellation Immortal Venerable, there would be a risk of it getting unraveled or countered, but now Fang Yuan used it to trap Yu Tianguang. The evil dragons attacked Yu Tianguang from all directions. They bit, swung their tails, stabbed with their horns, or used their claws. Some even shot out sharp sword chi with their tongues. In this dangerous situation, Yu Tianguang erupted with the strength of a legendary immemorial beast. It waved its hands, and its body moved like lightning. The horn on its head was extremely sharp. In just a hole, 3 evil dragons were sliced in half. That after a lot of effort, it managed to kill several evil dragons. But dragon souls came out of them to modify the battlefield. The more evil dragons that died, the more dragon souls that gathered. The battlefield was filled with soul path down marks that made the dragon souls even stronger. The situation was increasingly dangerous. Yu Tianguang tried to charge out from different directions as it fought a bloody battle, but it could not break free from the evil dragons. That sensing the danger that its host was in, the wild rank 9 light goo in Yu Tianguang's body burst out with its power again. A piercing light shone on the entire battlefield. It seemingly tried to escape with Yu Tianguang by turning it into a ray of light. Earlier, when Fang Yuan and Star Constellation chased after Yu Tianguang, this was the move that caused them to fail in capturing it multiple times. But now, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable was already prepared. Starlight specks flew out and surrounded Yu Tianguang's body. The wild rank 9 light goo burst out with power, but the starlight specks suppressed most of its strength. It failed to escape with Yu Tianguang, but caused it to suffer huge injuries. Instead, rank 9 light goo was a wild goo. It was not in sync with Yu Tianguang. Thus, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable found its weakness. But this was normal, even though Yu Tianguang and light goo had been together for a long time. It had spent most of the time sleeping. Now that it was awake, with just rank 8 cultivation level, it could not refine a wild rank 9 immortal goo. Back then, even Star Constellation Immortal Venerable, who had become venerable, spent 100 years to refine the wild rank 9 wisdom goo. As for Giant Sun Immortal Venerable, he attempted to refine rank 9 love goo and failed in the end. Yu Tianguang's blood spewed out like a geyser. It fell into despair. The enemies were too powerful. It had suffered huge injuries that caused it to become even slower than before, but it still struggled for the meager hope in its heart that wanted to escape. It resisted. Don't come here. Don't come here. Light Emperor hid in the black cloud and watched as Yu Tianguang approached him. He became flustered and anxious. Yu Tianguang coincidentally escaped in the direction that led to him. Is this my so-called fortuitous encounter? Light Emperor sudden shook as he recalled Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's words. That he immediately understood that his fortuitous encounter was rank 9 light goo. But, Father, this is too much. Light Emperor glanced at Fang Yuan and Star Constellation Immortal Venerable. He did not even dare to look at them for more than a moment in fear that they would notice him. Light Emperor's bald head almost wanted to hide in his chest all along. His body had been emitting light, but now he kept the light concealed as only a thin halo was left. But Yu Tianguang still came in his direction at full speed. At this moment, Light Emperor could feel nothing but hatred towards this huge fortuitous encounter. He did not know that Fang Yuan was feeling the same. The timing is not right. If this happened after I refined heavenly secret goo, I will be able to use my full strength to capture the wild light goo. Fang Yuan attacked and chased Yu Tianguang while secretly refining heavenly secret goo. Thankfully, he spent a lot of effort to modify heavenly secret immortal goo's recipe, that using 4 elements square regret blood refinement pool, and with the help of the hairy man goo immortals, heavenly secret goo's refinement proceeded without a hitch. The following is the most difficult part, but at this time, I need to chase after that rank 9 light goo. Sigh. Fang Yuan sighed to himself. He did not feel much attraction to rank 9 light Gu. Rank 9 heavenly secret Gu had far greater value to Fang Yuan than light Gu. But the situation had progressed to this stage. Fang Yuan had to show that he was determined to take the immortal Gu for himself. Fate Gu has been destroyed. This situation should have been caused by the contest of luck between the other 3 venerables and myself. Fang Yuan had a vague comprehension that once Fang Yuan refined heavenly secret Gu successfully, his strength would grow immensely. The benefits would not just be limited to obscured heavenly secret. There were other advantages too, but in that case, Fang Yuan's advantage would be too huge. Precisely so. The other 3 venerables were threatened by Fang Yuan. Although they did not notice it, their luck had already started to retaliate. The luck of spectral soul demon venerable, giant sun immortal venerable, and star constellation immortal venerable mixed together and attacked Fang Yuan in unison. Precisely so. At the crucial moment of refining heavenly secret Gu, Fang Yuan faced such a huge difficulty and uncertain in this situation with the existence of 4 venerables and contest of 3 venerables. The current timing is a crucial turning point. Sovereign immortal aperture. Rank 9 heavenly essence treasure imperial lotus. Rank 9 advanced refinement immortal Gu. My cultivation of refinement path and heaven path, as well as other elements like obscured heavenly secret, have given me a huge advantage that is deeply hidden. My luck is comparable to all 3 of them together. This comparison was under the situation where the 3 venerables did not know the truth, because they canceled out a portion of each other's luck. This allowed Fang Yuan to match them evenly. Once the venerables understood the situation and found out the truth, they would cooperate with each other and cause this cancellation to be smaller. By then, their collective luck would surpass Fang Yuan. If I get past this difficulty without the 3 of them finding out the truth, after gaining rank 9 heavenly secret immortal Gu, my luck will be higher than the 3 of them combined. After a qualitative change, when I refine other rank 9 immortal Gu in the future, I will no longer face such a hurdle. After making an analysis, Fang Yuan understood that this was a crucial fight. If it were to be said that becoming a refinement path venerable was the foundation to resisting the other venerables, then after refining rank 9 heavenly essence treasure imperial lotus, Fang Yuan shortened the gap between himself and the venerables. After refining rank 9 advanced refinement Gu, the gap was shortened even further. It even deepened Fang Yuan's advantage in refinement path. And now, if he refined rank 9 heavenly secret Gu, it would create the turning point in the contest of 3 venerables. Once this crucial point was passed, Fang Yuan would surpass the other venerables. He would have a true advantage against them. As star fog appeared, Yu Tianguang's path was completely blocked. Evidently, this was an incomplete battlefield killer move. A star constellation immortal venerable wanted to use this battlefield killer move to trap Yu Tianguang and the wild rank 9 light Gu before dealing with them. Fang Yuan had not seen star constellation immortal venerable use a battlefield killer move before. He was hesitant now. Should he try to destroy it now? It was not something that he could not tolerate for star constellation immortal venerable to obtain the wild rank 9 light Gu. It was very difficult to refine rank 9 light Gu, while star constellation immortal venerable did not cultivate light path. After getting it, during the period that she tries to refine it, star constellation immortal venerable's positive luck would fall greatly. From the perspective of the situation, in order to prevent Fang Yuan from ruining her plan, star constellation immortal venerable would definitely give up more benefits to Fang Yuan. This was very beneficial to Fang Yuan. Thinking of this, Fang Yuan activated his killer move. Immortal killer move 7. Kills rainbow. Metal path is yellow light. Wood path is jade green light. Water path is light blue hue. Fire path is red light. Earth path is brown light. Wind path is green radiance. And lightning path is deep blue light. 7 lights from these 7 paths mixed together and shot forward in a drill shape towards Yu Tianguang. Yu Tianguang immediately sensed fatal danger. If he was hit by this move, it would definitely perish, alongside the rank 9 light Gu in its body. But star constellation immortal venerable was guarded against Fang Yuan. What are you trying to do? Star constellation immortal venerable called out as starlight flew out, forming a veil made of stardust. It was like a wall between heaven and earth, blocking Fang Yuan's 7 kills rainbow. Fang Yuan's mind was also running out of thoughts. He had to refine heavenly secret goo while maintaining his defensive killer moves and movement killer moves that earlier he even had to use an offensive killer move like 7 kills rainbow forcefully. Fang Yuan snorted coldly but did not show any weakness. Friend Star Constellation, even if you want to get rank 9 light goo, do you think it will be this easy? On the outside, Fang Yuan showed an attitude of relentlessness. He was prepared to fight to the end, but the truth was, he had already made up his mind to destroy this wild light goo. If that failed, so be it. If Star Constellation Immortal Venerable got the goo that in Fang Yuan's condition, he could not obtain the goo even if he tried. That the priority was to destroy rank 9 light goo, followed by letting Star Constellation Immortal Venerable have it. The worst case was for Giant Sun Immortal Venerable to get it. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable and Giant Sun Immortal Venerable were not light path goo cultivators. But if Giant Sun Immortal Venerable got this rank 9 light goo, his own luck would grow explosively. That was extremely useful for Giant Sun Immortal Venerable. With his attainment and luck path, he would become much stronger. The Star Constellation Immortal Venerable side. Friend Fang Yuan, Giant Sun Immortal Venerable has not arrived yet. Are we really going to fight now? Fang Yuan smiled coldly. Why not? If I wait any further, aren't you going to obtain the rank 9 Immortal goo already? Fang Yuan and Star Constellation Immortal Venerable went into a standoff. Fang Yuan targeted the incomplete Star Fog Battlefield killer move occasionally, while attacking Yu Tianguang and Star Constellation Immortal Venerable respectively. At other times, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable was worthy of being a Wisdom Path Venerable. Her mind was filled with thoughts. She managed to handle all the various aspects and keep her control over the situation. That although the situation was in a deadlock, it was clearly tilting towards Star Constellation Immortal Venerable. During the contest of the Venerables, Yu Tianguang had already gotten severely injured. Rank 9 light goo tried many attempts to escape with it, but Star Constellation Immortal Venerable blocked it each time, seeing that the Star Fog was about to gather into a complete battlefield killer move. Light Emperor could not wait anymore to dazzle them. He attacked abruptly using his strongest method. The blinding white light filled the entire battlefield. Light Emperor used all his effort to create a small opening in the Star Fog. Escape, escape, escape. Light Emperor desperately charged towards the exit. He did not have the energy to care about the rank 9 Immortal goo. He had waited for a long time before Fang Yuan weakened the Star Fog battlefield sufficiently, without Star Constellation Immortal Venerable having the time to replenish it. Thus, he could make an opening in this battlefield if he waited any longer. And the Star Fog battlefield formed completely. He would have no chance of escaping anymore. Chapter 2280. Fang Yuan takes a risk. Chapter 2280. Fang Yuan takes a risk. The appearance of Light Emperor stunned Fang Yuan and Star Constellation. They did not expect that someone would be able to hide from right under their noses. This person has a profound luck path method on him. He must be related to Giant Sun Immortal Venerable. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable's pupils shrunk as the Star Fog quickly gathered. Fang Yuan also made his move as he attacked Light Emperor. Light Emperor's eyes were staring wide open as he screamed internally. What does this have to do with me? Why are they attacking me? I was just passing by. But immediately after, he turned around and saw that wild rank 9 light goo shining in white light. As it came towards him with Yu Tianguang, Light Emperor wanted to cry. He understood the situation now that the wild rank 9 light goo had an intense instinct for survival. It stayed with Yu Tianguang because this legendary immemorial beast had a lot of light path Dao marks that made it have a familiar feeling. There was also the fact that Yu Tianguang was not strong enough to refine it. But in the hands of a venerable, the situation would be different. Light Emperor opened the only crack in the Star Fog. He was also a light path cultivator who only had rank 8 aura. The wild light goo naturally came to him as an avenue of survival. Father, save me. At the moment of life and death, Light Emperor shouted loudly, Son, don't worry. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable flew towards them from afar. He was getting closer rapidly before he arrived. His killer move had already appeared, blocking Fang Yuan's offensive method. Fang Yuan did not have enough thoughts now. His offensive methods were not as agile as usual. Otherwise, Giant Sun Immortal Venerable would not have such an easy time blocking him. Of course, this was not strange in the eyes of the two venerables in this fight between three venerables. It was understandable for Fang Yuan to save his thoughts in case of emergencies. After all, they thought that he had the least immortal essence. The star constellation Immortal Venerable snorted coldly. She had already recognized Light Emperor now. She immediately used the star fog to pursue him and shorten the distance between them. But Giant Sun Immortal Venerable activated his killer move again. Golden Aurora appeared behind Light Emperor and blocked the star fog. Could I have escaped on my own? I'm afraid that I would have to use rank 9 Light Goo's power to get away from them. Oh, Father, you almost did me in. Light Emperor was a resolute person. Thinking of this, he gritted his teeth and turned around, grabbing at Tian Guang. If you don't want to die, come with me. Light Emperor shouted as he brought Tian Guang and the wild Light Goo with him. Escaping towards Giant Sun Immortal Venerable, Tian Guang was on the brink of death. It was currently in a stupor and unable to resist as Light Emperor brought it away with him. Furthermore, because they were both light path cultivators, they were naturally closed a star. Constellation Immortal Venerable stomped her feet as her body flew forward like a ray of starlight. Midway, she tossed with her hand. Star Constellation chessboard flew out at the other end. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable approached and opened his immortal aperture's entrance. Lux Suppression Heavenly Palace flew out. The star constellation chessboard had countless pieces shooting out. Like a storm. Lux Suppression Heavenly Palace sent out a wave-like golden aurora that shielded Light Emperor and prevented him from getting killed by those pieces. But a large number of pieces still moved agilely as they attacked him. Light Emperor struggled intensely. His expression was malevolent. Facing star constellation Immortal Venerable's attacks, he dodged from side to side. When he could not evade some pieces, he would endure the impact. Thankfully, star constellation Immortal Venerable's attack was already weakened by Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's golden aurora to a large extent. Light Emperor had pseudo-venerable battle strength after all. He only suffered heavy injuries with blood flowing out of his mouth and nose. But his speed remained the same. Persevere. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable shouted. This situation was quite urgent. His son's life was at stake. He used his full strength as a result. The star constellation Immortal Venerable gritted her teeth. She felt immense pressure from Giant Sun Immortal Venerable, who was using his full strength. Seeing that Light Emperor was about to escape, star constellation Immortal Venerable fought intensely while shouting at Fang Yuan. Great love, Immortal Venerable. How long are you going to continue watching? Fang Yuan had only made some moves after Giant Sun Immortal Venerable appeared. He did not use his full strength. A star constellation Immortal Venerable was quite displeased with this. Fang Yuan holding back meant a huge threat to her. If Fang Yuan and Giant Sun Immortal Venerable were colluding now in a setup against star constellation Immortal Venerable, she could not use her full strength against Giant Sun. Otherwise, Fang Yuan would sneak attack her while she was unguarded. Fang Yuan was feeling quite troubled now. He had already done his best. The refinement of heavenly secret goo had reached the most difficult part. He had to use a lot of thoughts and concentration on it. Fang Yuan excelled in the defensive aspect of wisdom path. In terms of thought production, he could not match star constellation Immortal Venerable. But his compound killer moves had a huge requirement for the number of thoughts to persevere. Fang Yuan gritted his teeth while urging himself on. Giant Sun, take this. At the same time, Fang Yuan shouted as he flew towards Giant Sun Immortal Venerable. Fang Yuan did not use any offensive method. He only adjusted the movement killer move that he had been maintaining. But simply this small movement made star constellation Immortal Venerable let out a sigh of relief. While Giant Sun Immortal Venerable became alerted, this was because Fang Yuan went away from star constellation Immortal Venerable and approached Giant Sun Immortal Venerable. It reduced her wariness towards him. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable also had to save his son from two venerables. He felt immense pressured. He shouted loudly and activated more trump card killer moves. For example, this current method. Poor luck Silver Hook. Fang Yuan's pupils contracted as he sensed a killer move approaching. The wind light fire lightning wheels below his feet rotated rapidly as he instantly left the area out at the next moment. A pure silver curved hook appeared at the spot that he was previously in. The hook only appeared for a moment before vanishing again. It was so fast it seemed like an illusion. Fang Yuan continued to move around like a phantom. He did not stay at the same spot for more than a breath of time. Meanwhile, the silver hook continued to appear at the spots he went to, only mere moments away from actually hitting him. Star constellation Immortal Venerable was angry that Fang Yuan was still holding back now. He had cooking luck pot's protection and could resist the silver hook to attack Light Emperor, but he chose to dodge the attacks, which was what Giant Sun Immortal Venerable wanted to see because it made Fang Yuan easier to deal with. A star constellation Immortal Venerable did not know about Fang Yuan's true circumstances. After all, the Giant Sun Immortal Venerable has never used this luck path killer move before. If I get hit by it, my luck will fall greatly. Right now, with the retaliation of all three Venerables' luck, it would be a detrimental blow to me. Fang Yuan had a clear observation of the situation that he could not use offensive methods now because most of his attention was focused on the refinement of heavenly secret goo, but the two Venerables were hard to deceive. He was having a hard time putting up this show. Fang Yuan used various methods and overworked his mind, but his thoughts were still falling to a dangerous level. Heavenly secret goo's refinement used too many of his thoughts. While this battle was also quite dangerous, Fang Yuan did not even want to touch the silver hook. It was as if he was walking on a tightrope now. If he was careless, he would fall to a miserable death. At this time, star constellation Immortal Venerable attacked Giant Sun Immortal Venerable, relieving some of the pressure off Fang Yuan. Light Emperor was already very close to Giant Sun Immortal Venerable. A star constellation Immortal Venerable wanted to attack him, but Giant Sun Immortal Venerable did everything to stop her. Fang Yuan. Star constellation Immortal Venerable shouted, "I'll take a gamble." Fang Yuan's eyes shone brightly as he expended nearly all his thoughts to take a risk and activate Reverse Flow Protection Seal. Fang Yuan flew forward with Reverse Flow Protection Seal like an eagle diving for its food. He went towards Light Emperor with an explosive sound. "Father, save me." Light Emperor was shocked by Fang Yuan's momentum. He screamed for help. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable endured Star Constellation Immortal Venerable's attacks forcefully and activated a killer move. Golden light shot towards Fang Yuan like a huge pillar. Fang Yuan did not dodge, but approached Light Emperor instead, trying to snatch an immortal goo in front of me. Die. Fang Yuan snickered with barely any thoughts left in his mind. Light Emperor stared with wide eyes in terror. He gritted his teeth as his body turned stiff as a rock. At the crucial moment, the wild rank 9 light goo burst out with powered, blinding white light flashed in the entire battlefield. Fang Yuan was first hit by the white light before the golden pillar landed on him. He crashed towards the ground like a falling meteor. Thoughts were produced in his mind and used in the goo refinement, as well as sustaining his defensive killer move. He could not even use them to think that after a few breaths of time, Reverse Flow Protection Seal started to become unstable. If this move broke now, not only would Fang Yuan suffer a huge backlash, the other Venerables would also notice his issue. Fang Yuan was in critical danger now. If the Venerables attacked him, he would have no way to resist. But this was all within Fang Yuan's plan. A star constellation Immortal Venerable and Giant Sun Immortal Venerable were fighting over rank 9 light goo. They could not afford to care about Fang Yuan. With Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's protection, Light Emperor finally arrived at his father's location. Because Star Constellation Immortal Venerable attacked furiously, Giant Sun Immortal Venerable suffered considerable injuries. There was already blood flowing out of his mouth. The two Venerables faced off with sharp gazes. They collided in the air. Both sides were getting serious. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable gritted his teeth, but did not make any rash move. He wanted to open his Immortal Aperture's entrance to put Light Emperor, the fainted Yutian Guang, and wild rank 9 light goo into his rank 9 Immortal Aperture. But he knew that he could not do something like that now. As time passed, inside the Sovereign Immortal Aperture in for Elements Square Regret Blood Refinement Pool, the Hairy Man Goo Immortals were cheering loudly. The toughest step of refining Heavenly Secret Goo was over. Now, The refinement difficulty fell sharply. It was a smooth journey ahead. The number of thoughts needed fell as well. Fang Yuan soon had enough thoughts to think. He immediately realized that he was falling. He stabilized his body and flew towards Giant Sun Immortal Venerable again. That when he saw that Light Emperor was standing beside Giant Sun Immortal Venerable, he became anxious and shouted, "We cannot let Giant Sun Immortal Venerable get rank 9 Light Goo. In the worst case, we need to destroy it." Giant Sun Immortal Venerable snorted coldly. He looked at Fang Yuan with deep killing intent. "Go ahead and attack. I will make sure you pay a painful price." Star Constellation Immortal Venerable was silent. Fang Yuan hastened the refinement of Heavenly Secret Immortal Goo while looking at Star Constellation Immortal Venerable, shouting with all his might, "Star Constellation, this is a rank 9 Immortal Goo." Star Constellation Immortal Venerable had a cold expression. She was very unhappy with Fang Yuan. "If you had used your full strength, would we be in this situation?"